Hello, fellow Mythrunians. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a Let's Play for the recent release, the 20250914 release, which is what you can download now. If you go to the Mythruna.com Download Now page, you can go down there and you can grab whatever platform version you want. So if you download that, you'll get a zip file. If you unzip that zip file, you'll get a directory like this. You can go to the Mythruna client and you can run the exe. The Linux version is similar. So you get this little pop-up window that allows you to configure your display settings. I'm going to leave multi-sampling disabled just in case it gives us a little boost in performance for the stream. I'm actually recording this instead of doing the stream in case that also helps the recording go a little better. You can join the Discord, which I recommend. There's a lot of cool Mythrunians there to talk to, and you can ask questions about the future and progress and stuff. I also tend to post a lot of screenshots there as I work. There's Patreon, YouTube, Blue Sky, all the standard social media, but let's go ahead and play. So this will come up. You got your music and your so on, and you can read the warning. Basically says I try to keep everything backwards compatible, so go ahead and build and share your screenshots. I really like to see the screenshots. So this will tell you sort of what's new in this version. There's a couple new block types and so on, and you can go and look at older versions if you want to see sort of the history of that. Today we're going to sort of generate a new world, so I can show you what that's like and how that's changed a little bit, and then we're going to walk to the nearest town, try to do the quest, and I'm going to show you some things along the way. So the video should take about a half hour if we can do it quickly, because we'll spend about a day in game, which is about 25 minutes. So in here you can look at your previous game maps and so on, the preview of those worlds. And it now has these hexes that show you sort of days travel. It's about 3,000 kilometers, and it'll show you different types of terrain and so on. So it'll show you where you've got lots of trees, where you've got ice and deserts and things. But we're going to create a new world because I'm going to start with a brand new one. So let's call it a Let's Play. 1, 2, 3. And we'll randomly generate a seed. We'll just see what that's like. So we'd start off in an ice sheet. That's not very interesting to me, so I'm going to randomize again. Yeah, so this starts off coastal forest. There's some snow there, so it's probably a relatively cold region because Mythruna does have some climate modeling. There's a desert over here, but you can see that's many days travel. It would take us hours to walk there. And I don't feel like teleporting there. But let's try one more time. Let's see if we get a good seed. Okay, well, I don't want to spend time clicking through seeds, but you could. This one looks interesting enough, so we'll go ahead and generate this one. Hopefully it has some cool towns nearby. So this new version will do a little bit more pre-building of the world. The idea being that I could start showing lore about the world, nearby towns, interesting characters that might live in those towns as those features develop. And it would also allow the player more information about what world they're about to jump into before creating their character for that world or characters for that world. These slides, actually, I enjoy watching them myself, but I captured them in game. There's a feature in game where you can do sort of this hand-drawn effect, which I'll show you once we get in the game, how you can do screenshots like this as well as regular screenshots. It's kind of cool, and there's a bunch of settings. Won't go into the settings today, but there are those settings. So yeah, so now we're gonna create a character. I'm just gonna let's do the goat one, which is Mythruna's version of an elf, and we'll do an elf female. And so now you've got this random button where you can hit, and you can randomly generate some names of varying qualities. It's random based on a sort of training set that I used to train a Markov chain. Anyway, you don't need to worry about that. So anyway, now you also can select better clothing. Before you could pick from a standard set of clothing. Now not only can you pick from a standard set of clothing, but you can customize it. So if you just want the basic tunic, you can now give it different things. So if we wanted a dark green twill, we can do that. And so she's got a dark green twill tunic if we want to. So I actually like this. I like to kind of let's give her maybe like a dark blue twill with a dark aged belt. Yeah, so you can like spend some time customizing your character and get it the outfit the way you want it. And important to, when you customize these will also show up in your blueprints when you join the game, so you'll already have some pre-customized stuff that you can then modify, because you can create your own outfits. And that's going to be so at the end of October we're going to have another Halloween party, and you can make costumes and join in, and the game will capture your costumes in some way, and permanently on the public server. So I highly recommend you download the game and make your own costumes. If you have questions about how to make costumes, feel free to join the Discord and ask about it, or join one of the live streams on Fridays, and we can talk about it there too. Anyway, so let's give her some boots. I think I'll just do the cuffed boots this time, and we'll do suede. We'll give her dark age to match her belt. So she's got some boots. We'll give her some leather bracers. And I think we'll give her one of the necklaces. Let's do the silver necklace with a little red. Oops. What did I remove? Oh, anyway. So now she's got a silver necklace, and she's wearing basic clothes. There's some fancier. Yeah, I got to fix these seams. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the game, and we'll play. Still doing a little bit of world generation, but we're on our way in. So yeah, I highly recommend. We had like 4 or 5 people join the Halloween party last year, and so now their costumes were captured as ghosts in the hedge maze, and that's kind of fun. So anyway, this is a new world. It's going to take a little bit longer the first time we join, so we get this portal blindness effect that happens when you join or when you teleport in the world. And so we should be able to start. Yeah, here we go. The other thing is, when you first join the game, you will get this debug HUD. There's an option in the settings you can hit, or you can just hit F9, and that'll get rid of it, and it'll switch over to the regular HUD. And in here, you can actually control, in addition to theirs, you can go to your user interface, and you can control what appears in this overlay. So if you don't want the seed to appear, you can come up here and delete the seed and only have the coordinate up there, etc. You can actually disable it completely if you want, but it's useful for me. I let it sit with the seed and the coordinate, because if you were going to capture screenshots because you saw a bug or something, that's useful for me to recreate, because seed should generate the same world every time. And I mentioned earlier that you can do the hand-drawn effect if you go here, and you can hit this, and that turns on the hand-drawn effect, and that puts like a nice little signature down in the bottom that's got the same thing. It's got your character name and then the seed and the thing. Sort of supposed to look like you sort of signed your painting kind of thing. And so that'll do this effect. You can also get the same thing by... The screenshot key is F12 or print screen, but if you hit Control F12, it'll turn that effect on and off as well. So anyway, we're going to go walking around. Let's go ahead and... Oh, there's already a town there. I can see it. Let's go ahead and pull the map up. Let's see what the towns look like around us. Oh yeah, that's the nearest town, it looks like. It's about... Well, we can actually measure, because we've got map tools. So we can actually measure. It's about 1.84 kilometers away. That's a long way to walk, so let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully we can make it there before dark. Oh, and so we're also on... There's a quirk in the generation right now where it won't generate trees on these lines. That's something I got to fix someday, but until then, it's kind of a nice feature that we kind of get these little roads that we can use to quickly travel without having to jump through forests. Let me see. So I'm going to keep track of where that town is. I think I'm going to take this little... it's not a real road. There will be roads generated eventually, and we could just follow the road to the town, but that has not been implemented yet. That is coming. Right now I'm concentrating on getting monsters and other mobs and the little NPCs to be a little smarter. That's going to be the next focus, so that we can maybe have like some kind of hunt or something on Halloween. We'll see how far that is, or maybe I can generate a special dungeon with some actual creatures for us to chase down and whack on. So yeah, so we'll come down this way a little bit, and then we'll probably make a left, and we'll start heading through the forest. So yeah, butterflies. We just passed a blue morpho butterfly. Let's go ahead and head through the forest here. Oh, another thing, you can actually hop from tree to tree if you're good at it. This is a feature that will be available to the simian race later, because they're the ape people. Also, they're the builders of the world, the tinkerers and the scientists, and but they'll be able to like climb through the trees really well and stuff, so they'll be able to do that. But humans will probably fall. Most of the other races will fall. There's the avians, which will be able to fly. So right now we've only got the humans and the elves, but they will eventually be your classic dwarf, and then the reptilian races, and we got another kind of little road here. Anyway, let's keep heading towards the town. So yeah, the avian, the reptilian, the pantherian, which is like the cat people, and each of them will have their own sort of societal hierarchies and so on. Yeah, whoa, look at that view. Nice. Let's hop from the trees again. Whoops. Boink, missed. Okay, so that's the town we're heading to, that glob of buildings over there. Yeah, so that's how far you can see. About 8 kilometers in all directions. The buildings and stuff show up within like 5 or 6 kilometers. Whereas no, it's like 3 kilometers. Buildings and trees show up within 3 kilometers. So the scale of the world is what I spend a lot of time on. The idea being that so just around here there should be like plenty of stuff to do, foraging, hunting for creatures, and that you could spend your life living in standard local distance type of situation. Sorry about that. But that always over the horizon will be something interesting to go see. So if you get bored with the town or the forest you're in, you can hop a ship or hop an airship, or just walk down the roads and see what adventure takes you there. And but I really wanted to have a world where the deserts were vast and you could get lost in them, where oceans were huge, and travel across the ocean required some planning, that sort of thing. And so I wanted a world that had scale, but that you could still game locally. So while it seems like it's taking us a long time to travel to this particular town, that is because that is our goal right now. But the idea would be that there's plenty of stuff to do without traveling to the nearest town or the next town over. And in so the towns are just kind of placed randomly right now. There's no rhyme or reason to it, but eventually they will be placed more logically, and there will always be some kind of town, village, or settlement near the spawn, so that new characters have a place to get quests and buy and sell gear and crafts and things like that. So that you don't. Some of these worlds are going to be pretty brutal in that if you start in the middle of something that's 6 or 7 kilometers of ice sheet in all directions, you're going to have to gear up before you can even traverse to new areas of the world, and so so it behooves me to always give them some kind of starter settlement. Even in the ice sheet case, it's probably going to be a really small settlement, because those are supposed to be challenging worlds, which is one of the reasons I warn you about them during world generation. But yeah, so the other thing you'll notice is that when the forest gets really thick like this and dark, the branches tend to grow up above so that you can still walk. Every now and then you'll get a branch that comes down, or a short tree, but mostly you can walk through these forests, and there will be more underbrush eventually, but to improve foraging and creatures and things to walk around. Probably you'll want to stick to the roads when there are roads, but for now it makes traversal easier that we don't have to constantly be whacking through leaves and things. Now the jungle biomes, when those are implemented, that'll be different. They'll be a little bit harder to traverse unless you're on a well-defined path. You might actually have to hack through stuff. Okay, how close are we? Oh, we actually walked right by it. I got the jibber jabbering, and we walked right by. Yeah, I can see the buildings through the trees. So yeah, we made it in one day. That's kind of nice. So one of the things I'll go over is making your own objects and making your own clothes. But first, let's find the NPC in this town. Here he is. They tend to hang out at these temples. If there's a temple in the town, they'll hang out at the temple. Um, that was nice, OneDrive. I really don't care. Anyway, so let's talk to this lady here. Hi, I'm Dia. I'm Similani a Gulch. You said something about some trouble. Yeah, I remember. Lost my brother's axe. I was exploring in the area west by southwest. She's trying to like face me, but I'm a little too close to her. So that's why she's got those jitters. That's one of the things we're going to be improving for the Halloween release. I was exploring in the area west by southwest of town when I sat down to rest, and the axe must have fallen. I remember I was at a small ruined stone carving, and probably more than a kilometer from here. I've been back a few times, but I can't seem to find where I left. I can try to find it for you. Oh, sure. And so then if we look in our... So if you hit J for journal, or you can get to it here, we can actually see... And it points out that she's actually marked it on the map. So if we go to the map, we can see, yeah, she's marked it over here. So we could walk over there and get the quest. I'm going to switch off of that so we get rid of our little line. But first, since it's about to be nighttime, let's kind of pick a house and customize it for our own. There are no... Other than the quest giver NPC that generates in the town, along with whatever pets, random pets she might have, there's no other denizens of the town yet, so you can pretty much just move into whatever house you want. Well, I think we'll just pick this one. It seems reasonable. We'll put some more lights in, maybe. So we've got a build wand that we have equipped in our hand right now. If we go here and we look at our character, we can see she's got the build wand equipped in her hand. That's in our inventory. It's this particular wand right here. We have some others that we might get to play with. So anyway, let's go ahead and see if we can put some more lights down. Lighting in these buildings is a little weird in the sense that if you want them to not float in midair, you've got to kind of be creative, because these are half blocks, and so you can't actually place lighting on. But we can put them in on the ceiling. So let's put one up here and one over here. Gives us a little more light in here. Okay, and we probably want to give ourselves a door. So let's flip over to the object wand, and we can see, yep, so we've got like a chair. Yeah, so if we wanted to, we could put some chairs down, and you right click and drag to pick up the chair, and you can roll the mouse wheel, or you can just kind of move it around. Now these chairs are holograms at this point, but you can actually make them solid and physical. So we'll make it a solid, which means that we can't walk through them. And we can put down a table. Yeah, here we'll put down a table. And so we'll get the table in there, and we'll make that solid too. And so now we can't walk through the table, and we've got these chairs. Now you can actually make the chairs physical as well, but we won't do that right now. So let's give ourselves a door. I think that, yeah, there's a pre-built door, so you can plop the door in the doorway there, line it up the way you like. There is actually, I think, a snap function too. If you right click, you can say snap. Yeah, so you gotta the snap doesn't always work for all the objects. It snaps to some kind of arbitrary grid that's I need to fix. Anyway, so once you got a door placed, you can click on it and open and close it. If you wanted to make a door, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's what I thought. 6 wide. So let's say we wanted to make a door with a window in it. We don't like this one. We want to make a door with a window. So we pop open our thing. We go to blueprints. And so we can make a new blueprint, and we'll call this door with window. And in the actual game, it'll just be a door. And so then we can start messing around in here, and this works a lot like building things in the game. You can come up here and you can select, select the wood. We want a wood wall, and we need it to be like 6 wide, or yeah, I think 1, 2, 3. Not. No. 3 wide. Yeah, because we've got to take. There's got to take account that there's our frame. Um, yeah. So anyway. So yeah. So the the X through block is showing us where we would remove if we left clicked, and the flashing thing is showing us what we would place if we right click. So if we can build up a door, I think we need to build it 8 blocks high, because 4 blocks is a meter in here, so 4 blocks in here is a full block in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll do 2 more. 7, 8. And we will make kind of a... I'm not sure how I want to do a window on this particular door. We could do like that. We could replace these with something wider, but I think we'll just... Anyway, I don't want to... So anyway, you can get really wrapped around the axle with... you know, messing around with all the different options you can do, but I don't want to take too much time in this Let's Play video here. So we'll just put some windows in. Let me find the iron. We want iron wall, and so we'll make the door latch here, and we'll make some hinges here and here. So no, but you could spend some time doing some more custom things, doing it a little better. Anyway, so let's save this blueprint, and now we should be able to go to the workbench and we say, okay, well, there's an existing door, but we're going to copy that design. And so the way this kind of works, it's really rough. It's meant to be sort of just showing you everything that could be possible, and I use it for developing in-game objects, but eventually crafting will be a little bit more guided than this, and obviously we won't be able to just plop a big door on top of a desktop, on top of a workbench like this. But anyway, when you're here, you can like check your animations, you can have things on the hinge and so on and so forth. There's a hierarchy. Like if we go to the hinge, that's what the door is underneath. And if we remove this door, we can add our own door with the door with the window, and we can, you know, place that where we want it. I probably could have just typed 0 in there, but you get the idea. So you can, so we've got this, you know, centered on there. Probably we want to rock it a little bit forward so that the hinge lines up with the door jamb just a little bit there, maybe like that. Okay, and so then we can come back over here and select the hinge, and we can see how that looks opening and closing. Yeah, it's okay. It's good enough. So that's what it'll look like. Okay, so we can save this. And so now we've got our wood door copy because I didn't bother to name it. And so now if we come back in here, we can right click on here, we can say I want to delete this one, and I want to place my second door here with the window. Okay, so I got that, and so now it's got a window in it, and I can see outside, and still I can click to open and close it and go outside. So it's still nighttime. By the way, if you ever need to, there is like a special feature where if we bring back up that debug window, you can see that there's both the game time of day, which we're in the year 457, the first month, second day of the first month, and it's 2 a.m. And the view time is also that, but you can actually adjust the view time separately by hitting this T key, and you can pause the view time. World time will still continue, NPCs and all the normal time-based things will still happen on their regular time, but you can change the view time, so if you wanted to move it forward and get daytime, you can. If you want to just reset to the current time, you can. I'm going to use this opportunity, though, while we're waiting for it to get light outside again. Let's talk about clothing. I want to customize her clothing. So if you want to go to clothing, and we should be able to say she's got her custom basic tunic that we did, so let's edit that. And so let's say we wanted to change this neckline or add some details. So let's say we want to add like a a waist detail where we're going to say, let's make it like a plaid insert. We'll make a green plaid in sort of overlay right here. So just like a block world, right click will place swatches, and this is going to be ugly, but that's okay. Right click will place swatches and left click will remove them, and they are layered. So I'm placing these on top. If I got rid of it, the layer is still there. If I wanted to go click it again, I could get it down to skin. And so you can kind of figure out where you want to place things, and with a little bit of experimenting and changing the shapes and so on, you can get some pretty interesting things. So that's that. And so yeah, so now she's got this. We could give like some borders on the collar if we wanted to give some accents up here. Let's see. And I'll show you how to select a different shape in a second. So let's just go around and so we don't want that one. Let's do this one, this one, this one, and here. Oops. And so if we wanted to select the triangles, we can. Those would be the angle, and it'll show you what kind of angle you have, and you can do like the bottom left, and that'll be this one over here. Except I put it in the wrong place, and like this one over here. And you could do bottom right, and that would be this one over here. And then we could even fill in these with top right. So top left will be this one, and we can fill in these little gaps here and make the collar look a little better. Top right would get you this, and so on. And so you could really customize the stuff in great detail. And you've got many different fabric types here. You've got chainmail, rusted chainmail, regular chainmail. I think there's, yeah, bright and dark. Okay. But you've got some metal too, so you can mess with metal, and there's various types of metal from gold, silver, steel, wrought iron, so on and so forth. So you can mess with this and get something that you like. Make costumes, full costumes. If you hit X, you can actually export this, I think, or is it Shift X? I'll have to look that up for you guys. There's a way you can export this and import it into the server world. So save the clothing, and even though we've changed this, it won't actually show up on her until we remove it and put it back on. So if you are easily offended by nudity, no, she's still got her burlap shirt on. So let's remove this one, and so this will be another thing we can show. If we come back up here and we put the custom basic tunic back on, it'll be on top of her pants, which maybe we want in this case, right? But we could take off the pants and the boots. Basically, the order they appear here is the order she put them on. And so because the shirt went on last, it's on top of... But I actually think that's okay, because we put the waist on there. That's kind of what we want. So anyway, we've customized her outfit. It's actually daytime again, so let's go ahead and take care of our quest. So we want to head in this direction, which is over here. So you can kind of see our little arrow is pointing in that direction. So let's go wander through the woods. Bye, Gayfin. So the Gayfin are the bird-like creatures. They're kind of a combination between a goose, a duck, and a penguin. They meet all of the needs of all of those things. They are hardy in cold climates. They provide eggs. They provide, down and all that. Basically anything that it's like a combo, magic combo creature. There'll be a similar one for the goat, sheep, pig, or whatever, the cow, sheep, pig. A shogi or yeah, I think goat. Is that what I call them? I don't remember. I haven't made the Artige. That's the other thing is I meant to show. The towns have names. Like they got real names now. We don't have any nearby. So there's one I can't really see what it is. And there's Codis or something up here. The towns use like a cultural, regional kind of thing to define, cultural center to define them. They have there's 19 different rule sets for creating town names, and so depending on the general area, it'll pick different ones based on, I combined a bunch of, actual real human languages, place names together to train the model. And so you'll see some of them will seem, maybe Chinese-like or Japanese-like or Eastern European like, or that kind of thing. But usually mixed with some other things to kind of make it a little less obvious. Alrighty, so let me go ahead and switch to. So there's also the test wand is interesting too, but at some point I'll make a dungeon too. So let's switch to the dungeon wand. Let's go find this. Yeah, see if we can find this. I like the dungeon one because it's small and doesn't keep whacking us in the face as we run. Yeah, so that's the other thing is you've got. We go to our inventory. We've got different things. We've got a sword, an axe. Eventually, you'll be able to chop the trees down. That doesn't work right now, but you can actually chop through dirt and wood and stuff and stone and things like that, which I will show you. Maybe I'll show you when we get to this ruins over here. Anyway, I don't like the. I don't want us to whack our. We'll just stick to the build one for now, in case we have to delete any blocks or whatever. There, I should have marked the town. I could have shown you marking. So there is the ability to mark. Currently, for the test engine, you can mark locations as warp locations, and on servers, the server admin can actually promote those individual marks to like something that's global for everyone, and they'll see the marks, which can be a good way to like have places where players can easily gather and so on. Let's see, we've got. I'm heading in the completely wrong direction. There we go. Straight over here. So probably over this mountain here. Oops. Okay. So by the way, Q will make you fly, which can be easier sometimes than. These are all. That's a temporary feature. Eventually, only a certain race will be able to fly unassisted. But for now, Q lets you do shift is run, that kind of thing. If you need for some reason to walk slow, like you don't want to spook the animals, you can hit. So yeah, F5 by the way will turn in third-person mode, and you get like several different things. And normally you're like sort of jogging at 3 meters per second. If you're trying to walk in a way where it doesn't spook the monsters, you can actually hit the X key, and that'll put you into regular walk mode. And then shift will turn you into back to jog. But we're gonna just run, so we want to have maximum run. And one little known feature is if you hit control, you'll do super run, which is faster than anybody should ever travel, and you will break the world if you do that a lot. But for testing, it's useful to be able to fly around really far, real fast. But it is really hard on the world generation. Yeah, so see, I just really love these views. So you get this, and so you can imagine at some point there would be potentially, oops, I just want to get back here. Potentially there would be, ships moving through this harbor. We've got, pretty good chance that this is going to be some kind of traffic, shipping traffic. Yeah, so we zoom way out. Yeah, almost guaranteed that some kind of shipping traffic will be going through here, especially with this town in here. Again, eventually towns will generate based on like actual good locations, so they'll tend to generate on coastlines and up rivers and things like that. But that'll be something that happens closer to when there are actual rivers and waterfalls and stuff. So anyway, so we've gone over making clothing, which allows you to set yourself up for Halloween. We went over the screen options a little bit. We went over town names. So we made some custom objects, and we added things to our house. We made a door, and so on. So I think I've hit a lot of my. Okay, we're really close to the ruins here. Right now, wherever they draw the circle, it's supposed to be somewhere in here, but I can tell you right now, the quests always generate right in the center of this circle. So if that helps you locate it. Because sometimes they can be kind of tricky to find the axe. The NPC's not lying when they say, oh yeah, so somewhere around here, this weird little stone ruin thing used to maybe ancient some kind of ancient statue that's long since been decayed. And somewhere around here is the axe that was dropped, and it's going to be right in here somewhere. I think I see it. Let's move some trees away. So sometimes it can be hard to pick the leaves. I thought I saw it through the tree here, but maybe not. It could actually be up on top of the trees too. That has happened before. You get some kind of hint because when you get close to it, it will tell you you're getting close. Like down there. This looks near where Samalini dropped the axe. And so we know we just hit the edge of... There it is. It's right here. So yeah, I don't blame her for not finding it. Okay, so we take it. Now it's in our inventory. And... yeah, see, oh, there's an underwater cave there that looks like it intersects with the coastline as well. There's another town over here I can see off in the distance. That would be a village, probably. So while I'm here, there's another thing you can do. If you want to find points of interest, you can enable the markers cheat, which basically turns on all of the markers for all the points of interest. And so you can see, yeah, there's we're at a cliff point of interest. There's caves nearby. There's caves over there. Caves all over the place. So this is like a way to cheat and find specific things. So yeah, there's all these different points of interest. There's a spirit hinge, which is like the part of the Moongate network. And then so anyway, if we turn all of these off, we can see the villages because they don't normally appear on them. Oops, cancel. Oh man, that's right. So the villages and settlements don't normally appear, just the towns. So if we leave that stuff there, we can see, yep, there's a village right here. Paeli Zarze. Neat. And so yeah, there's another village up here. Kishlak Somji. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's following some grammar rules of the language I do not speak. Okay, so we can walk all the way back to town if we want, but right now there's actually a cheat you can do. If you haven't found it, you can actually cheat and jump to the object, but we can just cheat and jump right back to here. And so now we're right, literally right on top of her. Okay, hey, by the way, I found your item. Oh, thanks. Okay, so now we've given it back. It's no longer in our inventory. It will no longer show up in our quest log. But implementing that made me implement a bunch of things. Quests will get more advanced in the future, and there will be some reward for completing them. We've got our little house here. One more thing I wanted to show you is something that, like, other players already know. If you grab one of these axes, you can actually go over here, and it is supported that you can chop holes in things. And so, like, this will be part of crafting a resource collection someday. Okay, it's like, so it actually knows where you chop. Because the build wand that we use, like when I use the build wand to completely obliterate a particular block type, you know, like I delete this, I'm sucking up its raw materials, and they show up in my, you know, raw material list here, and that will allow me to create certain kinds of blocks. But if I was to do that with this stone over here, and that stone had gems in it, I would lose the gemstones. So to get at things like gemstones and some kind of precious minerals, certain kinds of artifacts that you might be looking for, you would need to use, you know, like a pickaxe or something that would give you the fine control you would need to, you know, to grab, or some on the backswing here, to like chip away, and then there'll be some indicator that you're getting close to what you're looking for, and different types of constructed materials might do better at it or worse at it or be more destructive. Like if we were banging with a hammer instead of a pickaxe, you know, we might break what we're looking for, that kind of thing. Anyway, that is 2 days we spent in Mythruna, and because it's coming up on sunset again, and that is pretty much all I wanted to show. Oh yeah, there's some new block types. So if you go to the deserts, there's entire new buildings, but we didn't have a desert nearby. But so we've got sometimes these little market stalls appear that have the new awning blocks. Sometimes you'll get tents that appear. Like, I don't know if there's any tents in this town. I'm gonna fly for a second. Oh, cool. We got a cave system right under the town. Yeah, no tents appeared in this town. Oh yeah, it did. There's a tent right over there. So yeah, this is one of the new building types that may appear. One of the different kinds of merchant types that you can come in and so you've got these little tents. Those kind of cool. Yep. So that's the game, and yeah, fitting to end right at sunset. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers, so that'd be cool if I can make 1,000 subscribers. Otherwise, I will see you guys later and try to join the live streams on Friday. Thanks for watching.